And under fractions, today's exciting mathematical lesson deals with making equivalent fractions or equal fractions. And one good way to kind of show that, it always seems to boil down to cookies or pizza. We'll go with pizza today. You know, let's say let's say you had this pepperoni pizza. I don't know if you're pepperoni pizza or if you're from Pizza Hut, you probably don't deliver. And you ate 1/2 of a pizza, right? Which is pretty simple because for some unknown reason, Pizza Hut only cut it into 2 pieces and you ate half of it, right? Well, the next pizza you ordered, I guess I can't go. Pizza Hut decided to cut your pizza into 4 equal pieces, and you still ate half of it. If it was cut into 4 equal pieces, how many pieces are half? Yeah. So you know that 1/2 equals 2/4. Or the next time Pizza Hut cut your pizza into 6 equal pieces. This time to eat half of your pizza, you had to eat how many? 3. So, all of these fractions mean the same thing. How many fractions do you suppose we could make that are equal to 1/2? Yeah, it would go on forever. We call that infinity. You could never end. Well, we don't want to draw pizzas every time we want to make some equal fractions. We want to figure out how to do that without doing that. And it's based on this philosophy. What happens when you multiply by 1? When you multiply by the number 1, what do you get? Let's say I had 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. You got the same thing. So here is the big climax of the show. Okay. See if you can make this little connection. I just said that 1/2 times, check this out, I'm going to make my 1 like this, like the book does. Wow. 1/2 times 1 is going to give me what? 1/2, right? Well, boys and girls, instead of multiplying by something by 1, what if I multiply it by a fraction that's the same as 1? For example, what fraction is the same as 1? 2/2. 2/2 is the same as 1, so if I multiply 1/2 by the same thing as 1, I should still get 1/2. Well, I do get 1/2, it's just in different numbers. 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So we know that 1/2 has to equal 2/4, which it is. You knew that, that's nothing new. But the deal is you can do 1/2 times any fraction that equals 1 and still get a fraction equal to 1/2. For example, what's another thing that equals 1? Let's go big. Let's go 12/12. 12/12 is the same thing as 1, is it not? If I multiply 1/2 by 12/12, I'm still going to get 1/2. It's just said in a different way. 1 times 12 is 12. And 2 times 12 is 24. So 12/24 equals 1/2. Well, let's get really crazy.
8,000.
1/2, sure. Let's go by 8,000 over 8,000 for Colin Bocek. This is the same thing as 1, and anytime, the book sometimes will do this to you. They'll give you this little thing highlighted in blue or something so that you know it's supposed to be 1. And what is 1 times 8,000 but 8,000? What is 2 times 8,000? 16,000. So you know, if by some chance Pizza Hut cut your pizza into 16,000 triangular pieces, you would have to eat 8,000 of them to eat your half pizza.
I think a real severe pizza.
Now, with that being said, we got a couple other things here. Okay, here is something they're going to give you. You have to kind of make a little deductive leap. If I have 5/8 and I want a fraction equal to 5/8 that has, let's say, a 24 on the bottom. Okay, what you have to think about is this. Going back to our multiplying by 1, what fraction equal to 1 would I multiply this by to get to 24? What you'd have to ask yourself is this: what do I multiply 8 by to get 24? 3. So if I want a fraction equal to 1 that has a 3 on the bottom, what has to go on the top? A 3. So 5/8 times 3 over 3 gives me what number over 24, Brian?
15.
15. So that's the missing number there that you'd be looking for. When it comes up in a problem in the book, it'll just look like this. 7/8 equals, let's say, what number over, I don't know, 64. And they'll maybe have a question mark up there. If this comes up in your book, okay, you need to first of all write the problem down just like it is. And then rather than doing the outline of a 1, you just need to do this for me. You need to draw an arrow from 8 to 64 and put a times and say to yourself, 8 times what is 64? 8. Hopefully you know that. And you'll have to draw this same thing on top, 7 times 8, because 8 over 8 is 1. What is 7 times 8? 56, and that's the missing number that's on top. And it doesn't matter if it's on top or on bottom. If I have 3/5 and I want to know, let's say this is 21 on top, what number is going to go on bottom? You're going to just say to yourself, how do I go from 3 to 21? What do I multiply by? 7. So I have to multiply the bottom by 7. 7 over 7 is 1. Maybe the same thing. What is 5 times 7?
35.
35. So they'll give you a bunch of problems that look like that, and they'll ask you to fill in the circles. They will also give you a problem like this. Write this one down. They will say, write a fraction equal to 1/2. Write this down. Write a fraction equal to 1/2 that, maybe they wrote out 1/2, they probably wrote out 1/2, has a denominator of 6. Has a denominator of 6. So, what are they asking you to do? They're asking you, first of all, you want a fraction that's equal to 1/2. 1/2 equals, and where's the denominator, on top or bottom? On the bottom. So 2, you have to go from 2 to what? They want to know what this number is. They actually want the whole fraction. How do I go from 2 to 6? I multiply by 3. And then 1 times 3 is 3. So they're looking for the fraction 3 over 6. That's a fraction that's equal to 1/2 that has a 6 on the bottom. Or one more really long problem. Ready? This is a lot of words. You just got to take it apart bit by bit and do it. Here it says, write a fraction equal to 1/3 that has a denominator of 12. Write a fraction equal to 1/3 that has a denominator equal to 12. Wait, we're not done yet. Then write a fraction equal to 1/4. Then write a fraction equal to 1/4 that has a denominator of 12. And then, lest you think you're done there, then write the sum of the two new fractions you made. Write the sum of the new fractions. Lots of words. You don't have to copy the problem word for word, but this is what you need to see. First of all, they said to do what? Step by step. Write a fraction equal to 1/3 that has a denominator of 12. What would that be? To go from 3 to 12, you multiply by 4. So the top would have to be 4. Then it said write a fraction equal to 1/4 that has a denominator of 12. What do you go? To go from 4 to 12, you multiply by 3, so the top would have to be 3. Then, as a last thing, it says to add those two new fractions together. What is 4/12 plus 3/12?
7/12.
7/12. That would be your answer to that very long thing. I very, very, very much need to see all of this. You don't have to write all these words, but you certainly have to show your work in doing that whole thing right there. Do you have any issues with that?
No.
We don't. All right. Then that shall conclude today's incredibly exciting